Hey guys, it's Colonel Coffee here and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video, and we're going to be talking about the factions. So if you didn't know, today was a weekly reset and they finally introduced the main factions into the game, so Dead Orbit, Future War Cult and New Monarchy. So we finally get to see what role they're going to play in Destiny 2, and it's considerably more interesting than it was in Destiny 1. So they're basically making an event out of it called Faction Rally. Now Faction Rally is a weekly event where basically each faction is going to be selling a specific faction type weapon. Now you can only buy the weapon at the end of the week if that faction wins the rally. Now the rally is basically just rep. So if you pledge yourself to a certain faction, at the end of the week, whichever of the three factions has earned the most rep and the most followers or the most pledges will basically be declared victorious, and you can then buy their weapon. Now if you are pledged to the faction that wins, you can buy that specific weapon for 1,000 glimmer. However, if you're not pledged to that faction, you can still buy the weapon for 50,000 glimmer. So you can get around this money cost just by having 3 different characters pledged to all 3 factions, but it doesn't really matter too much because glimmer is really not hard to come by, so 50,000 isn't that bad. So if we just jump straight into this, basically when you spawn into the tower for the first time after today's reset, you're going to have to speak to all 3 factions just to get the milestone started. So for me personally, I don't know if it's the same for everyone else, it makes you talk to Arax Jalal first, who's the Dead Orbit guy. If you didn't know this already, Dead Orbit and Future War Cult are both in the hangar, whereas New Monarchy is over in the bazaar. So if you head down and speak to the Dead Orbit guy first, he'll tell you a little story, and then you can have a look at the weapon that he's selling, and then it will just say milestone updated, go and speak to the rest. So if you just head upstairs here, speak to Lakshmi, who is the Future War Cult person, she'll tell you a little story as well, and you'll get your milestone updated, and you have to go and talk to the third guy. So if you make your way to the spawn of the tower and head towards the bazaar, normally where you would go down here and take a left up the stairs to see Hawthorne, if you just walk straight past and into this back corner, you'll see this red area where you will find Hideo. So this is the New Monarchy guy, and like I said, once you've talked to all 3, it will update your milestone, and then you can do the next part. So the next part is simply to pledge your allegiance. So for me personally, I pledged myself to Orbit again because Dead Orbit is just, it's the one that I was always with on Destiny 1. The shaders are still the best. The gear unfortunately isn't as good this time around. I've seen like a preview of all the gear sets, and the Dead Orbit one's probably the worst, but the shaders are still the best in my opinion. So my main character is going to be Dead Orbit, and I'll have the other 2 characters on the other 2 factions. Now once you've spoken to all 3 factions and you've pledged yourself to one of them, you have to then complete the next milestone, which is simply by destroying enemy supplies during lost sectors on the EDZ. So I assume this is going to change each week. Each week it'll be a different planet, or it may even be a different objective. So for this week, it's lost sectors in the EDZ. So if you just go to any lost sector in the EDZ, so I just came up to this one because I seen there was a public event. Now what I want to say first of all is when I arrived here, the public event was on the right, but there was something else happening on my left. If you walked forward, you've seen these 3 things here that if you stood in them, you would basically be securing them. Now each one of these that you secure gives you a Dead Orbit token. Now there is nothing marked on my map at all, so I don't know what this is. It does have a public event symbol on it, but there was nothing marked on my map at all. So if you see these, there's going to be 3 I think. If you just secure all 3 of them, you'll get your faction token for each one that you secure. There's not many enemies to deal with, so it's pretty straightforward. Now like I said, for the faction rally, what you have to do is go into any lost sector on the specific map, and then you have to, most people will just fly through lost sectors right now, jump straight to the boss, kill him so that you can open the chest. However, the supplies that you need to destroy are spread out throughout the way down to the boss. So once you enter a lost sector, if you just progress down without skipping anything, just keep your eyes peeled, you will see a marker that you can see on my screen right now. All you have to do is put a few bullets into the supplies just to destroy them, and you will receive your token for each. So there's roughly 3 supplies per lost sector, so you'll get this done really quickly, and all it does is gives you tokens that you can turn into your rep or your faction guide just to get some gear or weapons. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like and a comment down below if you did enjoy it. Let me know what you think of the factions, let me know what your favourite faction is, and I will catch you guys in the next video.